All right, so I'm driving, coming back from the Dollar Tree. I take like 40-minute mom breaks and run to random places without my baby. And these are like the perfect time to talk to you guys and film videos and all the things. Anyways, so I wanted to talk to you guys just about my whole thought process when it comes to the new homeschool year coming up, 2023 through 2024. I've been having like the most difficult time. Usually I'm pretty confident when it comes to curriculum choices for my kiddos, but with me starting this job and having a newborn, and with my oldest just really in the thick of middle school, he's going into the 7th grade and things like that, I'm just having a little bit of a hard time just figuring out where we want to go next year and what we want to do and what curriculum we want to utilize and what our homeschool year is going to look like with all these different things. And so one of the things is I keep hearing a lot from my friends is that, take it easy. You've got a newborn, you've got a young child, and you're transitioning into 5 kids and all the things, and you're doing all these things, like, take it easy. And I get it. I understand the premise. I've given the same advice to a number of people. But I guess the issue that I'm having is I feel like being so sick last year or this year currently, and being pregnant, I had to take so much time off. I as intense as I wanted to go into this homeschool year, or this past homeschool year, I haven't been able to. And I felt like my kids' education has suffered a lot because of medical things that were going on and moving and all the things this past homeschool year. But this homeschool year, I really want to prioritize their education. I want to I don't want it to be like, oh, I'm working or I have a newborn, and so I have to kind of put their school on the back burner. So I really want to bring it to the forefront. And so because of that, there is some pressure, and I don't think pressure is a bad thing. I think a lot of times you have to use discernment, and I just feel like that's what God is telling me. It's just like, you need to prioritize their school. And one of the major things is my oldest kind of has lost a love of learning when it comes to school. And so I've really sat down with him and tried to figure out like what he wants to do, what he wants to prioritize when it comes to school. So after sitting down and talking with him, because I had in my mind that I was going to have him do anatomy and physiology, because that's what his friends are doing, like when it comes to science and stuff, and maybe do some coding or whatever the situation is. And just sitting down and talking to him, which is something that I really advise you guys to do, is just like what they say, like your kiddos, doesn't mean you have to do everything that they say, but to sit down and have a conversation with them, you really get an insight into where their mindset is, especially when it comes to them not loving school. Like, I know you're not going to love everything that you do, but for me, I was just very discouraged by just like how much he doesn't like school. And so by sitting down and talking to him and really getting to the heart of things, like so much was solved just by listening to him, actually really listening to him and his concerns and, what he wants to do. And so I had a heart to heart with him. I sat down and I was like, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? Like, where do you see yourself? He's 11, so that's going to change. But like, where do you want to see yourself? And he's like, Mom, I want to be a pro basketball player. I'm like, pro basketball, huh? That's cool. What else? And he's like, I want to be an engineer on the side. Like, all right, so you're going to be a pro basketball player and an engineer on the side. All right, cool. But hearing his heart, I'm like, you know what? Like, he may not be a pro basketball player, but if he's interested in basketball, I can put him in basketball, and if he's interested in like engineering, maybe I can how can I expose him to different, because engineering is like a butt ton of different things. So how can I expose him to all the different types of engineering that there are out there, or so that he can see if this is actually really something that he wants to do. And so I went ahead and he's going to be doing some sort of engineering, which I found this science called applied engineering on Masterbooks, which will like show him or have him see a bunch of different types of engineering and see how engineering is worked in, like how God is like the master creator, and how we use a lot of God's creation when it comes to engineering and different things like that. But all that, which will be in the curriculum picks video, but all that to say, by having this conversation with him, I was really able to see where his heart is at. He's also like, I want to be a writer. And so I'm sitting here looking up different ways that I can foster his love of writing next year and things like that. So one of the big things for me for next year is making school fun and interesting and enjoyable for him, because the things that he is studying and the things that he is doing are things that he enjoys. Now, when it comes to my daughter, my 8-year-old, she's going into the 4th grade, and just transitioning her from the good and the beautiful. We've loved the good and the beautiful in the past. I just don't think that level 4 of the good and the beautiful will work for her, because of the amount of writing that's involved. Writing wise, I don't think she is ready for that level. And we've done IEW, people in community, and she's enjoyed it because I write for her. But my issue is that whenever it's time for her to do her writing portion of it, it's tears, and so I've realized that we've got to build her writing skills, and just how can we foster that? How can I incorporate that? And so I've been looking at a bunch of different things, from CLE, language arts, to more IEW, structure and style, the theme-based writing type of things. I've also been looking at just like kind of a makeshift type writing, in which I have her do journal writing, and I have her do freestyle writing, and I have her do book reports and draw right now type of things and stuff like that. Like, just like build that writing muscle, and then maybe like in January start a more structured writing curriculum. So that's kind of like where my thought process is with her at the moment. One of those 3 things. Now, when it comes to my current kindergartner, I guess 1st grader next year, I don't know. That's the other thing. I don't know if I'm going to continue kindergarten with him, because he would be a very young 1st grader. He's not turning 6 till October. So it's still the beginning of the year, So, and I don't like to like label my kids like that. Like, I just keep going with where they're naturally progressing. And so anyways, all that to say, sometimes some of their curriculum are all over the place, multiple grades, because of that. So just with him next year, just building the foundation of learning to read and learning through play, and just really, I don't want to make the same mistake that I made with my oldest, in which it's just so rigorous that the love of learning is lost. And so for him, I really want to, even now, like we're starting Math with Confidence, which is like more game-based learning, and we're doing PALS, which is very game-based learning. And so just like understanding that he's 5 and he's gonna want to play, and so harnessing that and fostering an environment in which he learns through his play, but yet at the same time he wants to learn how to read. He wants to learn how to write because he sees his brothers and sisters, learning how to read and write, and he wants to do that too, So, really diving deep into that, and so that's where I kind of am with him, just trying to find curriculum that will bring that to light and help him get to the next step. I am looking into CLE reading for him possibly, or maybe even the Good and the Beautiful, level K, once he's done with PALS. But come to find out, PALS is going to, the way that it's structured, it's till second grade. And so there is so much learning that happens in such a short period of time when it comes to PALS. I feel like at some point I may need to slow down and switch gears for a little bit just to reinforce the concepts that are being taught and then pull back. So it really just depends on how that works out. I'm even considering all about reading with him because of the fact that we're doing PALS and how PALS is structured. I feel like all about reading might really solidify what he learns through PALS. So it's just, there's a lot. And I really, to be honest, don't have it nailed down just yet when it comes to him specifically, because it's just all over the place. Even with math, we're going to try Math with Confidence in April. We've done mathematical reasoning and loved it. And so I'm conflicted between moving on to Math UC, which is what I've always done with my little ones, or moving on to Math with Confidence. So I already have Math UC. So I'm going to try Math with Confidence to see which one works best for him. And then from there, I got to figure out what we're going to do next year, whether it's going to be CLE, because that's what my other ones are doing, and just sticking with the same curriculum kind of works best for my mind, especially when it comes to math. But what if we love Math with Confidence and want to continue that in the first grade, So I just really don't know. And then I'm trying to figure out other things that you need besides math and reading, like social study skills, like learning people in your community, in your community, like your address, your phone number, like those types of things. So yeah, just have not figured it out. When it comes to kindergarten, when it comes to my littlest, my 3-year-old, she's gonna be 4 next year. So I'm really considering doing pre-K with her. Because she's constantly asking me for her school. She's like, is it my turn to do school yet? So having some sort of structure, having some sort of plan always works best for me when I have little ones, because it can become a distraction to not educate them when they're asking you to be educated. But how I go about it is very important as well. And just building that foundation of a love of learning and a foundation of just not pushing too much, but also not holding back, So I noticed that her pencil grasp is not quite where it needs to be. So I want to work on her fine motor skills and, with busy bins and those different type of things. If you haven't seen my busy bin video, I will link it here. But just working on fine motor skills with those things, working on Play-Doh and those types of stuff when it comes to her. So just like a true preschool, pre-K program for her. With all my, I've got a video that I'll link up above here where I go through all the different things that I have for that age group and how I utilize it. And I'll pretty much just be following that same format with her. I try one thing, and if it's like she mastered that, we just move on to the next, to the next, to the next. Yeah. And lastly, when it comes to our family experience, we are very serious. My husband and I, we're just very serious people. And I want to have fun with my kiddos. I want to bring learning alive. I want to make learning not this big tedious thing next year. And I want that to be our goal when it comes to our schooling family style. And so whether it's Bible time or learning about God and seeing God in all that we do, to like our co-op and just spending time with our friends and just learning with them and fostering this like fun play environment of laughing and joyfulness. We're going to be doing science experiments, which is not my thing. You know, it's really not, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for my kiddos. We're going to be doing science experiments and field trips that really bring what we are learning to life. Like we're planning on doing land and animals next year with Apologia for science for my younger 3. And we're gonna get a zoo membership so that we can go to the zoo and see these animals that we're learning about and really bring it to life, you know. We're gonna be taking like a bunch of we're gonna be taking a vacation, and we're gonna be going to all these historical places when it comes to the civil rights movement and different things like that. And so bringing that history that we're learning about, bringing that to life and different things like that. So just really utilizing our freedom as homeschooling, as a homeschooling family, to truly bring what we are learning about to life. So when it comes to all the engineering things, I am looking into having my son meet with real life engineers, real life electrical engineers, real life engineers, having him meet with real life engineers and seeing what their life is like and really seeing if this is something that he wants to do. But he'll have that practical, like, I visited this and I saw this person do this, or I talked to this person who actually is an engineer, and really making it real and outside the books, if that makes sense. I feel like I said real like 5,000 times just now. Anyways, so I'm home now, and that's just all the thoughts and things that have been going through my head when it comes to planning for next year. And I don't have it all down yet. There are certain things that I do have down that I know that we're going to do, but there's still a lot more thinking and talking and navigating and going through different curriculum and really figuring out what's going to work for our family. But stay tuned. The sun is like directly in my eye, so if I'm not looking at you, that's why. But stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed because those curriculum pick videos are coming out. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time. Bye, y'all.